She was the perfect daughter, sweet, wheelchair-bound, and dying from one disease after another. Her mother, Dee Dee, was seen as a selfless hero, a tireless caretaker living only for her child's survival. But when Dee Dee was found stabbed to death in her bed, and Gypsy Rose suddenly stood up and walked away, the entire world realized that nothing, absolutely nothing, was as it seemed. This is the horrifying true story of manipulation, medical abuse, and a murder that shocked America. The tragic case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and the mother who kept her sick on purpose. The perfect victim. From the moment she was born in 1991, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was labeled as fragile. Her mother, Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard, told doctors Gypsy had leukemia, muscular dystrophy, epilepsy, sleep apnea, and a long list of chronic illnesses. She was placed in a wheelchair before she could speak properly. Feeding tubes, oxygen tanks, and hospital visits became part of her childhood routine. Dee Dee claimed Gypsy had the mental capacity of a 7-year-old. She homeschooled her, isolated her, and never let her out of sight. Everyone believed Dee Dee. They admired her strength, her sacrifice. They donated money, built a free house through Habitat for Humanity, and made her a local celebrity in Springfield, Missouri. Gypsy was the poster child for tragedy, but it was all a lie. The invisible chains. Behind closed doors, the house built on sympathy was a prison. Dee Dee controlled Gypsy's every move, her clothes, her food, her conversations. She shaved her head to make her look like a cancer patient. She crushed medications and fed them to her daughter needlessly. Gypsy was told she couldn't walk, even though her legs worked. And every time a doctor raised a question, Dee Dee would switch hospitals, forge documents, or claim the physician was incompetent. Gypsy, confused and terrified, believed something was wrong with her. Until one day, the truth began to creep in. She saw old medical papers saying she had no muscular dystrophy. She found photos of herself standing and smiling, walking even, before the wheelchair took over. And with each discovery, her mother's mask cracked just a little more. Escape into darkness. Desperate to escape, Gypsy did the only thing she could. She turned to the internet. Through secret Facebook accounts and hidden chat rooms, she met Nicholas Godejohn, a man with a troubled past and a dark mind. Their relationship turned romantic, and then deadly. In June 2015, after years of mental torment, Gypsy asked Nicholas to do the unthinkable. On a quiet night, while Dee Dee slept, he entered the house and stabbed her 17 times. Gypsy hid in the bathroom, covering her ears. The next day, they posted cryptic status updates on Dee Dee's Facebook page. Police found the body, and Gypsy was nowhere to be seen. A nationwide search began, but when authorities found her walking perfectly fine, the truth spilled out. The trial that shocked the world. The media frenzy exploded. Was Gypsy a victim or a killer? The public watched in disbelief as this sickly girl in a wheelchair now stood tall in court, speaking clearly. No oxygen tank, no feeding tube. Her attorney argued Munchausen by proxy, a mental illness where a caregiver invents or causes illness in another, usually a child, for attention and control. Dee Dee wasn't a mother. She was an abuser with a smile. Gypsy pled guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Nicholas Godejohn, who committed the murder, received life in prison without parole. The world struggled to judge a girl who had been abused for decades, yet ended that abuse with blood, freedom, regret, and the future. In December 2023, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was released from prison. Today, she walks free, not just on her feet, but in her truth. She speaks openly about her mother's abuse, the horror she endured, and the hope she holds for the future. Many support her, seeing her as a survivor of one of the most chilling cases of psychological and medical abuse ever recorded. Others still ask, was there another way? Gypsy says if she could go back, she wouldn't choose murder. But for a girl whose childhood was stolen, whose identity was erased, and whose body was held hostage by a lie, freedom came at the cost of a life. And that life was the woman who never let her live. The story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard isn't just about a murder. It's about the darkness that can hide behind love, and the strength it takes to break free from chains you never knew were there. What would you do if your entire life had been a lie?